Good morning. I'm out here. I know there was a little bit of silence there. We'll wait till my boys show up here. Let's talk about things that some people don't like to talk about. Taboo sometimes. Which I've always been kind of very open with. And you might actually learn something here. Okay, morning brew, but this time there's no tea in my teacup. There's simply turmeric with black pepper and honey. And maybe I'll explain to you why later. Because the tea does contain caffeine. It has a lot to do with this subject here. Okay. Well, if you've been noticed, I've been sniffling quite a bit on my show because I've got this, I'd have to say it's just chronic. Sinus allergies, sinusitis. It could be caused by a polyp. Could be caused by a slightly deviated septum, which can cause problems, which can cause sinus infections all the time, which affect your chest. I know you're here, Bruce. You're here for me, and I know you are, Bruce. You certainly are. Now, you hear my sniffling. You're just going to hear that all the time. I get a lot of nasal congestion. Now, what supposedly has been ruled out with me is any kind of COPD, but it doesn't mean that continuous smoking is not going to lead to that, okay? We've all established that. Even novice doctors on here established that, so we're not at that point. So quitting smoking is definitely going to have to be a consideration. And by the way, just so somebody understands, if you have asthma, that is COPD. I don't have asthma, but if you have asthma, that is a form of COPD. All right, we're established that. But we're kind of like really more talking about anxiety here. Anxiety is a serious issue that millions and millions of people have, besides a lot of people who have depression or suffer from depression. I've had anxiety episodes as a kid growing up, but I swear to you, they didn't become more apparent to me when I was dating, of all things, a Filipina back in Hawaii. I swear to you, man, a Filipina. That's when she went a little berserko in a car with me and wanted to take the steering wheel and direct me into traffic. After I accelerated on my gas pedal initially for showing her that I was pissed off about something, so she grabs the wheel. Yeah, that could trigger something. I mean, yeah, yeah, that could trigger something. Now, here's what happens if you suffer from anxiety, GAD, which means, you have a general disorder, GAD, general anxiety disorder. Okay. Anxiety is not like a psychosis thing or nothing. It's, some of it is chemical, some of it is not. It's a bitch either way. Now, for example, you can exacerbate health conditions with anxiety. For example, I have good blood pressure. I'm just giving you some examples here. My blood pressure is always good, but if an event or it could be even having an infection, or something that you go and do your little vitals. So you get on your little blood pressure monitor and you say, oh, gee, my systolic is a little high and my diastolic is not normal. So you're thinking in your mind, oh shit, what's going on? So that says hello to anxiety. Hey, anxiety, come on out. We got a concern here. Ring the alarm bell. And it's things like this that trigger your anxiety. You're thinking, oh shit, or I got these symptoms. You could have tightness in your chest, which is very common from sinusitis. But in your mind, you're thinking, oh shit, there's something worse than that going on. And sometimes there might be, unless, if you don't check it out. And you read about this stuff and you read it, it comes up the same thing. You got chronic sinusitis, you're gonna get all these symptoms. Now, I had a lung infection when I got back from Baguio, it did turn into a lung infection. Remember, I was exposed to some virus, turned bacterial, whatever, and all that. I was coughing, and I had a lot of phlegm in my chest and all that, and it really sucked. It really sucked. So the first antibiotic, which was a 3-day kind of a slammer type of antibiotic, a shock treatment, didn't really work. So I was put on a regular, I forgot the name of the antibiotic, but it was like 7 to 10 days or something. So yeah, that kind of worked. But sometimes there's residual bacteria in your lungs that They're kind of hiding in a corner somewhere and they don't go away. These little buggers, they don't go away. And sometimes you can get reinfected again. But what does that is irritation, of course, smoking, there's different things. Your sinusitis, everything is, boy, you'd think I'd be a doctor by now with the shit I read, right? Okay, goes away. Now, there is sometimes time of the day, very rare, or sometimes in the morning I get up and I said, I don't know, man, my chest feels a little tight. And you could have inner anxiety that you're not aware of on an external level. Okay, and that could cause that too. Sinusitis, my old friend, combined whatever allergies, yeah, it does that too. But even though you may know that, when you get these symptoms, you're thinking, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Is it this? Is it that? And when a doctor says it's not this or that. So you get the reassurance from a doctor, but sometimes, when you got anxiety, that's not enough. So you've been suffering with sinus problems for a long time. It does take its toll on you. It really does. And regards to, we're kind of going back and forth with the anxiety issue and other stuff, but anxiety is, it's a serious thing, according to what level you have. And I have low level, but I'll still be symptomatic sometimes, Oh, they must see the German Shepherds again to deal with this. Come on, girls. Come on. Shh. Let's be quiet. Ginger. Hey. Come on. Go lay down. Okay. Okay, let me give you a good example of anxiety. Two examples something that causes panic attacks. And I actually like talking about this, or else I would not talk about this at all. Let's see, I was in Hilo, Hawaii at an airport. It's a very small airport. I'll give you two examples of many, but I want to give you an example how anxiety comes out to bite you in the ass. Let's start with, I was going to go to, on my way to, one time, but many trips I made to Philippines. I was living in Hawaii and I was at the airport, very small. You have to check in or else you're going to have to go through all this shit to check out. So you're kind of stuck in that little area. And at that time, I always carried around some anti-anxiety med, like alprazolam for panic attacks. But I had checked it in on my baggage. Then I find out that, the flight was canceled. I'll have to wait till the next flight. I didn't use tea.
The girl is back inside here again.
Again? We got this lady up the block and she's got something wrong with her. Just the second time she has come into our gate. She lives, we're gonna have to talk to her family. When I get dressed later, we're gonna go talk. She walks down the block a lot and she was the culprit that was trying to steal our papayas. Do you remember that one? And we got her on the CCTV camera. There's like something radically wrong with her. And this is the second time that she tried to go to our gate. And yeah, she has mental issues, but I'm not really sure exactly what her mental issues are. But just happened now, just the second time. And we're gonna definitely have to talk to her family about this. Sorry for the interruption of topic, but this just came up. Yeah, she's got some mental issues. I'm really not sure what it is, but frequently she just walk down the block and walk around. And one time she tried to get the papaya, and last week she decided to go in our gate, and Gilda said, "What are you doing here? Why?" And she said something, Chihuahua, or something. I have no idea. It's very strange. But anyway, I'll continue with my story here anyway. So I'm at the airport, and they're gonna cancel the flight for the next one. I'm thinking, oh shit, how's my connections gonna work? This really sucks. And that created anxiety. And then once you start getting symptoms of anxiety, it gets exacerbated because you're feeling this kind of a little higher rate of pulse, and that makes you concerned, right? So then it comes a panic attack, and a panic attack is kind of a full out, you're not running around pulling your hair out, nothing like that. You just kind of exacerbate the symptoms. Heart rate, you feel this and that. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. It's really uncomfortable. And that my medicine was actually checked in already. And I felt kind of trapped in that airport, Another incident the last time I've actually been to my daughter's place. And at that time, I really didn't didn't take a lot of that medicine. I kept it along in case I ever had an anxiety or panic attack or something like that. And I was visiting them, and the next morning a van was going to come because I had to go back home from Seattle to go back home to Hawaii. And I couldn't find my little bottle. And I was concerned that, oh gosh, what if the children, they were young, if they find this and swallow it or eat it? So that created a panic attack. I'm looking through the couch. I'm looking, it wasn't in my bag. I looked everywhere for it. I couldn't find it. And that created, in fact, my daughter has just gone to bed, and I woke her up and said, hey, listen, man, I got to find this shit because I don't want the kids to get it. I did wind up finding it. It was in my bag. It was in the corner. I took it, and I tried to get rest from it. What didn't work too well. And I had to get up at really early in the morning. I had a van waiting. Couldn't even say goodbye to the rest of the family. She did get up and said goodbye to her, my daughter. It's things like this that get exacerbated by other things. So, I mean, having anxiety doesn't mean you're going to run around and yell chicken and the sky is falling. I mean, it's nothing like that. It's a chemical thing. It's almost like a chemical thing that triggers and your heart rate rises. When your heart rate rises, a person with anxiety all of a sudden gets concerned. Oh shit, my heart rate's going up. Yeah, we're going to have to talk to, when I get dressed and all that, we're going to have to go over there. Just keep the gate locked as we usually do. We don't know what this crazy lady's going to do. And then there's a responsibility. We have the dogs who are let out. And what if she came in and the dogs attacked her and they hurt her? Because chances are they might attack somebody who comes in the yard. First, they're going to exhibit a little back off type posturing, and then they're going to get concerned that this person shouldn't be here. They might decide to bite them. And I don't want that responsibility. No, I don't want that at all. Well, you guys are not commenting at all here. Should I even go on with the topic matter, or I don't know. Well, anyway, getting back to that, which I will. So trying to understand the nature of the beast. And psychologically, too, I will tell you something, that when somebody is pestering you and causing you unneeded anxiety, you want to put that puppy to a rest. I'll tell you that. You want to put that puppy to a rest. And what does that mean? It means that, dude, I'm going to take action against this. I don't need any of your goddamn stress. I'm going to take care of business. That's what it means. So I'm really kind of avoiding all the troll shit on here because I don't need all that bullshit. We all deal with our own demons, every one of us. Everybody has their own fucking demons, whether it's psychological with some people, whether it's physiological, whatever it might be. We all deal with our own goddamn demons. Every single one of us. And everybody has some demon in there somewhere. I'll probably assure you of that. And I don't need to deal with demons. If anything, I need to do an exorcism of demons. Get rid of demons in your life, friends. Get rid of the demons. Remove them from your life. And they physical form, I assure you. They come in physical, and they have names. Just like somebody told me a long time ago. Cut off the head of the snake. You don't want to get bit by its venom. Cut off the head of the snake. You'll never have a problem again. Never have a problem again with that situation. Let's just say that. So, if anybody has any questions about anxiety, I'll be glad to answer it. I'm not plagued with it. I feel pretty normal most days. And no problems. My blood pressure is really good all the time. But what happens when you get anxiety, you will notice if you do a blood pressure monitor, your systolic will be at a higher rate, usually than your diastolic. And your pulse rate can go up to maybe on an average during that time. It's not real bad. Go up 90 to even to 120, and that's not of any concern. Remember one thing about blood pressure, if any of you guys have high blood pressure, or if you ever monitored your blood pressure and you said, oh shit, that's kind of high. Well, the question really is it sustained or is this periodical? Now, if you got blood pressure that's kind of on the high side and it's always around that, it's called sustained. Then stress, it could be an illness, it could be whatever. Just from walking, your pulse rate can go up to 120 or more just from walking for your heart rate. But if you have sustained readings, that could be a problem. I don't have sustained readings. But the reason we're talking about this is how anxiety works. Okay, let's say you get a symptom of something that you never felt before. This is to make you understand what anxiety is. It's not your fault if you have it, It's chemistry. How you react to something. So if you have a symptom that you never had before, a person who has any level of anxiety will, and I'm going to tell you what people take and how much, you wouldn't believe it too, and I'm not anywhere, not even remotely, but we'll get into that. So you react to something, okay, you got some bodily symptom that you never felt before, and you're thinking, what the fuck is that? It's like, oh shit. So, okay, you're triggering your mind into a response of the unknown. You fear the unknown is what it is. You fear the unknown. It's like you fear the reaper. Or the rebar. It's one of my viewers. Fear the rebar. So you will react to something going on. That's what happens, which increases your anxiety level. And then it could be exacerbated more if you don't have an answer to something. Like, what's going on, right? So, I guess the purpose of even talking about this is to make you understand. And a lot of people don't understand what anxiety is. No, you're not crazy if you have anxiety. It's nothing to do with that. It's chemistry combined with thoughts. So there is some psychological in there. It's how you react to situations, which triggers adrenaline, everything else. How you react to things. Yeah, what's happening? Nothing's happening. We're just talking about kind of a taboo subject that a lot of people don't like to talk about, is when they got anxiety or depression or any of that great stuff. I don't suffer from depression, very rare. I'm going to talk to, where is he? I'd like to talk to him about her. There's this lady, she came in the yard. This is the second time this morning, interrupt my thoughts here on this anxiety issue. Hey, let me ask you something. You know that one gal who always walks up and down the block and she seems to have some kind of mental issues? Do you familiar? Okay, this is the second time.
That many times already.
She's opened up our gate to come in here.
I have the same problem.
You have the same problem?
Yes, yeah. But
Okay.
She's mental.
It's just mental problem.
Do you know what her problem is mentally or what?
I don't know, but she's always quiet. Sometimes she will talk if you talk.
She's the one that we caught on camera, and
Yeah,
she was
takes
trying
the
to steal our
papaya.
papayas when they were growing over the fence over
she
here.
goes inside for us also, and she takes the papaya. If it's getting yellow, she will cut it. She tries to open the doors also.
She's harmless though, right?
She is homeless, yes. Homeless.
Yeah, but I just have a problem with anybody that's not invited entering my gate
The
here.
problem is the dogs.
And what if the dogs out here, they attack her? Okay?
I think she is sister of the lady.
Next in your property.
Yes. I think
Who
she's
is
sister.
taking care of her? I mean,
They have family. They have family. That's her
Yes, the
sister.
family.
That's her sister.
I don't want to make enemies with them, but I want to tell them that
Yeah.
I don't want to bear this responsibility. If these dogs
Yeah.
potentially would tear her apart if she came in this yard.
Yeah. We have the same problem.
And I want to show you this guy's dogs. I want to show you this guy. If you haven't seen, I'm actually doing a little thing on here. This guy's dogs, they would never come in my yard. Certainly, look at this.
Very pretty. Don't know.
And he's got like 4 others, okay? Just like this, they're up the block. Beautiful animal. Look at this one here. Which one? I'm sorry with the names of your dogs.
This is Malik.
That's Malik, okay. Malik.
That's Malik.
Hi, Malik. Malik knows me.
Yeah, Malik.
They knows our dogs, by the way, because when my dogs, they go into their own panic attack. When these guys come by,
Ginger.
they go into a real tantrum. They really do.
It's Sasha who will back, and he will join Sasha.
Ginger.
And he'll join
As long
Sasha.
as
Yeah,
okay.
she'll take on what Sasha does.
No.
And this one here is,
This is Lulu.
that's Lulu.
Yeah, she's grounded.
That was,
She's grounded. Hey.
she's grounded.
Yes.
She was a baby, wasn't she? She was a small.
She's the smallest.
She was the smallest. Let me tell you guys, small. Look at this. I want you to look at this German Shepherd. Take a good gander. Well, you know, it's kind of okay, so she's not dangerous, so that's good, but it's still,
But our dogs.
but our dogs, I mean,
know, but I have the same problem.
She asked
will
her,
go
"What are
and
you
open the
looking
gate,
for?"
and she will go inside.
last time she came last time. Why are you in the yard? I'm looking for Chihuahua or something like that. Sounded like that, like Chihuahua.
Maybe, but she is mental.
She's mental?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, it's good to know that. I kind of figured you live in here long enough that you would know.
Yeah, she comes every day. She goes to her sister. Yeah, her sister is there.
And what does she do all day? Kind of just walks around and...
Yeah, just walks around. Most of the time she will spend her time just there with her sister.
Okay, well, it's just the idea. I just don't like anybody just coming in uninvited through my gate.
Yeah,
she knows how to open the latch.
Yeah, same thing with us. She will open the gate and
she'll open the gate, just come right in. That's why we try to lock it, but during the daytime, you know...
And then my friend also there next the black, they said they go there, open the gate, and then instead of we go to the car and open the car.
Yeah, actually...
She went in cars? She
I
went
found all the doors, all...
I mean... If you're not welcome on my property, you're not invited. You better stay the hell off my property.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
there's nothing you can do with her because
I
you
know.
cannot warn her.
No,
Because,
and then the problem is the dog. If they bite
Yeah,
her, it's
exactly.
our
Well, I'm
problem.
just more concerned about the dogs.
Yeah.
And they may not be big German shepherds like yours here,
Yeah, but still, dogs.
but
are,
they,
you know,
they have
to
teeth
protect
and they
it.
bite.
Look, they're
I mean, they
territory,
bite.
Yeah, they're right.
They have teeth and they bite.
Yeah.
And they could do a pretty good job if they want to. They, you know, they're not German shepherds. They're not pit bulls, but it's just a concern for me because I don't want anybody to be attacked. I just really don't. 'Cause my dogs are extremely territorial and they hear everything. Let me tell you,
There's lots of cuts there.
look at that. Yeah, look at
She
that.
was fighting with the other one because she had menstruation.
Oh,
Fighting
yeah.
Over her.
Well, they're protective of each other too, though, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes, but when it came to sex, they both wanted to have sex with her. So
Oh.
they fight each other.
Okay, over sex. They want to
Yes,
fight
so-
with each
so
other.
we
Yeah, they'll do
separated
that.
them now for
Yeah.
nearly 1 month. Separate from them. We left them in the port.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering how you do that and how many females you have and males and they go into heat. And that's kind of a problem.
Well, only her, because Sasha already had the operation, so it's no problem.
So Sasha had the upper. She's
Yeah,
not a
and
problem
this one
anymore.
she will have the operation soon also. But this is the worst dog we ever had.
This one here.
Yes. Now she is grounded. They go in the front free. She goes into the cage in the back. And every day it's the same.
Well, it's hard to make the dog understand why you're doing that.
Oh, they understand.
They
Especially
understand?
with her. She is very smart. She knows what she's not allowed to do. She will do it and then run away.
That she'll run away. I think they have a guilt complex. I know with my dog.
No, she's challenged. She's not running. She'll just stay away from me. She will not come close to me because she knows I will punish her.
Right.
She does it knowing that she's not allowed to do it.
All right. All right, I just thought I'd ask you about her because this has been numerous times she's done that.
Yeah.
And if I personally see her doing that, I'm just going to tell her, look, you cannot come in here. Do you understand me? Whatever. She may not understand me. She may not understand a word of English.
I think she does because Victor there, he speaks to her sometimes. So
She
she
does
understands
understand.
English.
Okay. All right. Here we go. That's a good one. Look at that. You went in the ocean. He takes him swimming, takes him for a walk every day. Look at my hand compared. I mean, look at this. If that dog wanted to rip me up, I mean, no problem. Look at this. I have no fear of his dogs at all. I could put my hands in them.
Put it in their mouth, they will not bite.
Yeah, they will not bite me. They know me. Okay.
I have the same thing with the cat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the cat is
The
really-
cat, she will come and just put it in her mouth, but she will not bite. And sometimes if she looks at me and she says, I'm not happy, or she will start licking it instead.
Oh, yeah?
No, because they know the reaction for.
Yeah,
the-
but she'll never bite.
Little-
The cat will never bite also.
Interlude from what I was talking about, folks. But okay, I just thought I'd ask you about her because it's becoming a concern.
Yeah.
And I just don't want her in the yard for her own protection. All right,
Yeah.
she's got mental illness. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's an excuse.
Time for the shower.
Time for your showers
Yeah, every morning.
every morning. All right, talk to you later, man. Wow. It's got like, what, 5 or 6? Purebred. Purebred. Okay, you want to open this up? The girl knows how to do it very well, apparently. Okay, why don't we kind of get back? They're kind of interesting. Yeah, a girl that walks up and down the block is just too, she's just, every now and then she'll come to me in the yard. I'm saying, no, this isn't cool at all. And I knew she had some kind of mental illness. I really didn't know what kind. Yeah, trying to impress his guru, his daddy, his online daddy. Okay, I didn't read all the comments. There's crazy people everywhere, James Marshall, Hendricks. Actually, no matter where you go. Ah, of course, Popeye Roberto. Well, no wonder. Nico likes to kiss people's ass all the time. Of course. If Roberto and Popeye was in there, well, duh. Of course, Nico has to please them. So he'll join in on whatever they're talking about to impress them. I don't know why he feels he has to impress these people. I really don't know. Like he can't think for himself or something. I don't know. You think Nico was drunk? Well, he does drink, that's for sure. He's never going to lose all this weight. It's impossible. I see what he eats, too. He says he tries to eat healthy, but this is not what the topic is about on here. Now, I had absolutely no anxiety at all. I want to share, this is what this is all about. Just now, had an incident with this woman decided to walk in the yard again. I didn't get anxious at all. You can hear my voice. I addressed this. I was talking to my neighbor about her, and there's certain things that will trigger, and I had no trigger at all on this matter. As you can see, I don't have an intense type of anxiety. There are people that are taking, and I'm not kidding you. I wish I was, and for their sake too. I really wish people did not have to take what they did. There are people taking like several different anti-anxiety medicines every single day in large doses. Now those are people that are just, they're strung out. And I don't mean they're strung out on the drugs, they're strung out on their anxiety. And just to cope, to get through their work day. That's never been, ever the case for me. It's never been the case for me. Thank goodness for small miracles. That's never been. But nevertheless, no matter what level of anxiety you have, it's still an issue if you have it, Now, for example, if I had this really intense anxiety, would have been really triggered over this woman coming into yard. But see, I already knew, my brain already knew the woman had mental issues. Didn't concern me. She was not dangerous. She was nothing like that, So it was, I think you got a call. So it didn't really trigger me. Now, of course, if some stranger came into my yard I didn't know and it represented a danger to me, well, I pick up the nearest baseball bat or whatever I have here, and once they're in my yard, they're in my territory. Outside of the gate, no. But inside the gate, if I feel threatened from something, oh yeah, my anxiety level will rise, and I will rise to the occasion. Trust me, I will rise to the occasion like you'd never believe. Anyway, I hope you're learning something on here. This is the whole purpose and intent, is to teach about something that maybe you don't understand. I have no problems talking about physical problems that I'm aware of anyway, but I could certainly talk about this because, as I said on my show, I like to talk about things that can benefit people sometimes. And a lot of people, it's almost like, what would be the word? Well, it would be like, let's just say it'd be like an embarrassing thing to talk about something like that. They're trying to hide it. Never try to hide anything. I never try to hide anything. If anything, I try to teach people stuff on my show that they're not aware of in life. Giving people another way of thinking, another way of seeing life, another way of valuing your life. And, either you take to this or you don't. Those are like my crazy philosophical moments that people seem to like, I guess. But yeah, anxiety is a demon. It's an absolute demon. But more so if you got this really intense anxiety, that could be even more of a demon. Trust me, there are real life demons. Some of them are in physical form, and they have 2 arms and 2 legs. We have real demons out there. We certainly do. If you want to find them, come out here on YouTube. You'll find them. You'll find them. Anyway, basically, you could live with anxiety. I've been living a lot of years with this shit. It doesn't generally affect me, but sometimes it doesn't have to be an external event happening. You could having a great day. That's why I'm telling you, it's chemical too. You could have a great freaking day. You're whistling, you're singing, you're having a great fucking day. Then all of a sudden, bam, 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 out of nowhere, your pulse starts shooting up a bit. Your chest feels a little tight. That's anxiety. And you're saying, okay, well, what is this coming from? I didn't have any event today. So where is this all coming from? It's internal, man. It's in your brain. You could be subconsciously thinking about something or an event or something. And, on an external level, you didn't experience anything going on that day. But, however, the symptoms come, and again, that word exacerbated. When you get these symptoms, you're thinking the worst, and then that's what exacerbates the anxiety. And it becomes what you call a panic attack. Now, what happens during a panic attack? Well, nothing. I mean, you're just kind of feeling, it's your body's fight. What it is what causes it is your body's fight or flight natural responses. So you're reacting to something that you're feeling. When you get the heart rate comes up a little bit, you get concerned, gets exacerbated. The anxiety gets exacerbated by that. That's what happens. It's a fight or flight type of. It has never really been a major issue with me at all. But it's never really been. Who's that?
She's there.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Let's talk to her. Let's see. Okay, gifts, dragons. I mean, I have anxiety because I have people who I thought were my friends that I found out actually hated me through another friend. Yeah, that could cause some internal anxiety. You're upset with the situation, somebody's kind of done you wrong and all that. See, that's why I'm really gung-ho on certain things that are going on in my life right now, that I want to put an abrupt end to this thing. Well, maybe not abrupt, but I'm going to go, full throttle on an issue to resolve this issue. Because once that's over with and done with, my anxiety levels will be a lot less, I'll guarantee you that. Sometimes you got to handle things in life, things that are unfinished. It could be a project. It could be a project that you started. And then, let me move to the other room. You're a small spectrum, yeah. We're not talking about trolls on here. If you're going to go in that direction, Luciana, we're going to put you right off here. Of all things, we're talking about anxiety. And talking about people like this is what creates anxiety. To all of us. Although drama is seemingly welcome in the lives of a lot of YouTubers, it can take its toll on you after a while if you allow it. If you don't allow it, which, I don't allow that to happen. Sure, I'll get irritated sometimes, I guess the word for me is really just more aggravated, not even irritated. I think more aggravated. I get trolled, but I don't even know who you are. I get trolled, but I ignore everyone. Well, it's kind of a way of handling it. Like if trolls come on the channel, I just get rid of them. I'm not going to stress out over that. This is part of the responsibility you have of being a YouTuber. Let's just face the reality. That is reality. It's reality. If you're on social media, and I don't care what kind of social media, you're always going to have some heckler in there. You're always going to have somebody in there that's kind of upset that maybe your lifestyle is better than theirs, or I could name a whole bunch of reasons why people do this, but they do it. That's the main thing. They do it. It don't matter what the rhyme or reason is. What? Menudo, I'm nice, but I don't know about people. Well, people generally not nice. Then they got to pay for their mistakes dearly, and sometimes it has to happen. Like, with the current events going on in my life with a certain person, I don't need this shit. I don't need it. I don't want it. And I'm going to try to resolve it the best way I can. There's no negotiating. There's nothing. I'm full throttle. What does that say? Full metal. What's that expression? Full metal something. So, is anxiety psychological, physiological? It's actually a combination of both. And it's usually triggered by something. And if I would allow the anxiety to take over me all the years I've been on YouTube and all the attacks, everything else going on, I'd be a wreck. But I seem to be a really strong person in regards to that because I shrugged this shit off. Sure, I have a few loose moments where I've gone full Monty on somebody on here. Definitely. That's when I was just totally aggravated at the whole situation. Totally aggravated. Don't worry about, what Nico said in his show. Nico is no different than Popeye and Roberto. They're all low-hanging fruit in the world, and they're all got their own psychological problems. There's no doubt about that. It doesn't take much thinking on that at all. Just listen to them. I mean, listen to Nico. He talks like 90 miles per hour. He's probably got anxiety. He's very hyper, and his lack of respect for women, I think, is very prominent. He's kind of dating this one gal, but yet they're saying that they're celibate, that they haven't done it, let's put it that way. And she's just a friend. So why is she hanging with him? A free ride? I mean, to go to these places? I mean, all right, I don't want to get into the troll thing, but I could say a whole lot about that, but I'm going to refrain from doing so. People are going to do whatever they do, and it's, neither here nor there. That's the lives they live, and that's who they are. And of course, they try to take the high road, that I'm this good person, blah, 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 blah. I don't cause problems. I don't get involved in anybody else's business on here. Well, we know a lot different than that. We know better than that, don't we? We certainly do. So if you're going to decide to be a YouTuber, that's the one thing you have to consider. Are you willing to go with the good and the bad? If you're not, don't do a YouTube channel. I've been through this for over 8 years. I've been attacked and called every name in a goddamn book. Never chased me away. I just marched on, man, and just did what I felt I needed to do, either to remedy a situation or to deal with it in one form or way, which that's kind of my constitution, how I work. And sometimes I'm very silent about things too. And a lot of people think, well, Frank, come on, you can't keep anything in. You talk just about everything. You're pretty open and honest about stuff. Yeah, I am. But there are certain things I do not talk about that I'm very silent about. Remember, those silent farts are the ones that are the smelliest farts. Remember that. When you fart, if you could fart away, just know that the loudest farts don't produce the biggest odor. It's those little silent ones. Beware of the silent ones. I like that. The silent ones. That's like a name of a book or something, or a movie. The silent ones. I like that. The silent ones. Hello, taco. I could use a Taco Bell around here, actually. Not real Mexican food, but what the hell, closest thing you're ever going to come in America or anywhere else. Taco Bell. Remember they had that Chihuahua as their, their advertisements. They used the Chihuahua. That was funny, actually. Where's the beef? That was another one. It was at Burger King or something. That old lady comes in there. She didn't like her burgers. There's no beef in it. Where's the beef? She said. She wants some beef. She wants to get what she pays for. You can understand that, right? Get what you pay for. Unfortunately, we're not getting what we pay for in life, are we? I don't think there's anything we're getting that's worth what they're charging. We're paying dearly for shit that we shouldn't be paying that much money for. But hey, that's part of life. Greed. That's a whole nother topic in itself. But anyway, to cap this off, anxiety is not where you're running around yelling chicken or the sky is falling, okay? Anxiety is just a reactive thing in the chemistry in your body. It's a reaction to a stressor or event or anything of that nature. It could be very inert. You could be having a great day and all of a sudden, bingle, bingle, boom, it hits you. And you say, well, what the fuck happened? Having a nice day today. Why am I feeling that? Well, although you're having a nice day, maybe in your subconscious there were things going on that you're just not aware of on a conscious level. And that could bring out anxiety. And it's a horrible thing to say that there are just too many people in this world that have anxiety. We have a very complicated society. Everybody's competing for a job. Everybody wants to make more money. They can't survive on their salaries. They're stressed out from that. Relationships not going well or something can create a lot of stress. It could turn into anxiety. I mean, it could. And people are basically, I think, suffering from a lot of anxiety. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is very common. I can name a YouTuber that's runs his mouth about 90 miles per hour, and I'm sure has that. Yeah, Nico wants to cause problems, but I think he finds his own problems, and I think he will. Nothing has to be done with Nico at all. Nothing had to be done with somebody else who just passed away. Karma took its turn. It also has to do with ignorance, which caused somebody's demise. You just never know. You just never know what's going to happen to any of us. You wake up, have a great morning, and all of a sudden, tides turn. Something happens to you that you didn't expect and you were never having problems with before. That could happen. And it does happen. Okay, anybody want to hone in on this topic matter, which really basically is having to do with something called anxiety and trying to define what anxiety is. For example, this morning I felt that way, but I'm feeling really good now. Part of the problem is physical. It's when you've got kind of a history of post-nasal drip, sinusitis problems, that leads to other problems in other your body demonstrates other things. You can get a tight chest from that because mucus that develops in your nose goes down into your chest. But the main thing is that your mucus is not like deep green, and make sure it don't have any blood in there because then you're in trouble. None of the above. And I've been to doctors, and fortunately for me, my lungs have been holding out pretty well. So hopefully that's going to be ongoing, but a few decisions in life you sometimes have to make. Yeah, I've heard that too, but I don't want to really get into, what is this? You just clean this thing. I really don't want to get into that, Charles. We're running a clean house here. We're running a clean house, okay? We're running a clean channel here. We went in the backyard, we threw out the garbage, we cleaned the floors of the show. We've done whatever we have to do on here. And people could have to retrain themselves that there's actually a YouTube channel that they could actually go on that is not concentrating on all the goddamn drama. You get your fill of that anywhere you go. I mean, you want drama, you'll find drama anywhere. On YouTube, it just goes with the territory. But sometimes, in a sense, you're right on that. Things that you can't control. Could be anything. Could be fear of the reaper. It could be a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of things that can trigger anxiety. It could be potential health problems that maybe you don't have, but in your mind you're thinking that, oh shit, maybe it's not what I think it is. So you react to stuff like this, and that's very common. Now, fortunately for me, for the most part, I have not ever had any kind of major size episodes of anxiety of anything related on YouTube. I've had moments, though, where my blood pressure was raised by a few people. That was about it, which is a normal reaction to being pissed off at somebody. Okay, that's normal. However, anxiety just kind of bears its ugly head in a lot of different ways. Anxiety does not make you yell at somebody necessarily. Anxiety does not, because if you have anxiety, you want the absolute opposite. You don't want to deal with a situation, so you don't want to prolong if you have to go on the attack of somebody for what they said, because that means they would be winning. And the way my mind works is it's like kind of like fuck that shit, No, I'm not going to let somebody get the best of me in that way. It doesn't mean that they're not experiencing anxiety. But no, that's never been my real problem here. Nothing from YouTube at all. Nothing at all. I gotta make something here, like some cereal here. I gotta eat something. Oh, where's my spoon? Okay. Well, I hope you're enjoying the subject. We had a little intermission there where a real life event just happened where this kind of crazy lady walked into the yard for I don't know how many times it's been. And you kind of met one of my neighbors with his beautiful shepherds. Well, it's a lot of things, anxiety, Charles. Some things you can't explain. But it's nothing to be embarrassed of in any way. You're in a big club. I mean, shit happens. It's a very big club, I'll guarantee you that. It's unfortunate our society is so complicated. But some of it is genetic. Some of it is brought on by trauma, perhaps. You had a trauma in your life. But I'll tell you one thing. Compare it to the psychology here on YouTube. I'm nowhere near that, you know. I function every day, no problem. But yeah, it's fear over things you cannot control. That's a really good point. Just like if you have a symptom in your body that you don't understand, chances are you're going to react to that, and you're going to have an anxiety type of response. If you don't have any answers to what's going on, you're thinking the worst, and that's the problem. That's the problem. You're thinking it could be something that it's probably not, and that intensifies the anxiety. And most of the time, you're wrong about your thoughts, that it's nothing serious going on with you. You're just reacting. Okay, so where are we going with this? But definitely I'm open for questions, really, before I kind of hang up on here. If you're experiencing these type of symptoms, perhaps you need a maintenance drug like Lexapro, and see how you react to that. Now understand the difference in anxiety medicines. Alprazolam does not work really with your GABA and the other chemistry, not really. That basically lowers your respiration. But ongoing anxiety drugs, maintenance drugs, like there's all kinds, Lexapro, which is also known as escitalopram, generic, is a maintenance work with GABA and serotonin, keeps the levels going. And some people, and it might be my situation, if you kind of have a deficit in your, don't have a good balance in your GABA and serotonin, yeah, that can cause a problem. So by taking these maintenance drugs, it's basically supplying your neurotransmitters, all that stuff. It's basically supplying your brain the trigger to produce this. It's like anything else. You got diabetes, you got to take a freaking med for it. Everything's really a Band-Aid, but it has to do with your diet and everything else. Everybody wants a quick solution. Everybody wants to take a magical pill to make their medical or psychological or whatever problems you got going, physiological, to go away. When people are just too dependent on medicine to cure their problem, when there are other ways of doing it. You don't always necessarily have to take blood pressure medicine. There are other ways of controlling your blood pressure, but some people are extreme and they have to be on it no matter what. You got diabetes, you got to take a diabetes medicine. You got other diseases or problems, you're on some kind of a med. And believe me, some people are on 15 different medications. Sounds crazy, but they are. And I'm not, and thank goodness for small miracles. Now, during the show, you haven't even heard me cough once, have you? Okay, this is what's going on. You haven't heard me cough. I don't have a chronic cough like that. Sometimes I do have a smoker's cough, you get irritated throat, but my cough is basically brought on by the nasal drip. I think you're familiar with that. You get a post-nasal drip, which means that mucus from the back of your nose, it's going down your esophagus and blah, 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 blah. It's causing you to react with something like, sounds like this. Because you want to cough up that mucus that's coming from your nose, okay? And where does it wind up? It winds up in your throat and chest. That's how that works. Now, if you have bona fide bronchitis or asthma, then you have COPD. You have COPD, and a lot of people don't want to admit to it. I've been diagnosed numerous times, and I don't have emphysema, and I don't have COPD. And there are tests for that I've done, but nevertheless, it doesn't mean I can't develop it. You don't even have to smoke cigarettes to get COPD, lung disease. You may have never touched a cigarette in your entire life, and you could still develop things like that. However, obvious to say, needless to say, you know, if you're smoking, it's, as you all know, if you do smoke or know people who do, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Can it be a death sentence? Sure. But most people die, if you're a smoker, for example, they probably more die of heart-related than anything else. That's why you got to keep up your, quit smoking, but keep up your exercise. That's like really important for lungs and heart together. Okay, if people aren't too talkative, because I'm trying to adjust to my new format, where you want so terribly to talk about the trolls and so forth, but this is kind of like where we're at. You want to listen to an interesting show that's not afraid to talk about different things, that's my show. I don't have to do a show at all. I volunteer to do this. I'm not getting paid to do this show. I don't have sponsors, nothing like that. Nobody even sends anything to my goddamn Gcash. Well, a few people did, but that's not the norm on my show. I voluntarily talk about these topic matters, and I don't really expect payment for it. And I usually don't get it anyway, so with that in mind, I still do shows. That's called vlogging. But real vloggers historically have never depended on monetary gain. There are vloggers out there that have been on for years and years that are decided I'm not going to get monetized. They don't give a shit about the numbers. They don't give a shit. That are really on there to talk about whatever it is, or to teach people something, or whatever their gig is. Play games, I don't care what it is. Talk about the girlfriends and boyfriends, whatever. Not expecting a dime. And very voluntarily not apply for any monetization, even though they have the watch hours, even though they have the views and subs. There's some people that just don't want to get involved with that. They perhaps don't need the money, for one, or they don't want to become so psychologically dependent that their show is entirely dependent on the money and revenue they make from the show. Then you feel more obligated when you monetize, because then you got to give the people what they want. And you're obligated to make a show all the time, or a certain time of week or day. Then you got to come up with material. It becomes a hassle. Me, I'm just totally freestyle on my show here. So that's why I keep on vlogging. As long as people's interests are piqued, I'm okay with it. When they stop coming is when, okay, that's probably time to get off, or just voluntarily anyway. I don't need a reason to get off YouTube. You just get off. That's all. It's not a big deal, really, for me. Now, you've been talking on YouTube for so long, it becomes almost like a habit. But that's a habit that's easily broken. A lot easier than quitting smoking or drinking or taking street drugs or something like that. Nevertheless, is kind of an addiction, just like our addictions that did a show, not our addiction to our phones. How the social structure of humankind is like totally changed since the introduction of cell phones and how advanced they are now. They can't walk out that door without talking to somebody, and unfortunately they do a lot of that while they're driving, and they get into accidents. It's that bad. Yes, it's that bad. How many times they have accidents, and they've seen that somebody, by the time of the accident, they see the timestamp on their phone, messaging or whatever, on Facebook or whatever, they're doing a live conversation with somebody by one form of media or the other, and they're messaging each other or whatever. Time of the accident, 1:05 p.m. Noted on the communication on the device if it survived the accident. Because they're too fucking busy, they think it's that important they can't put their phone down, even when they're driving, and that's pretty extreme. I've never been in that situation. When I was driving, if I had to make a call or take a call, I would pull over to the side, to the shoulder of the road, and I would take the call or make a call. I really never drove. I'm not saying I've never done that. I have done that a few times, but mostly I've never done that. I pull over to the side of the road, which is something that you actually should do. Somebody else's life could be involved if you don't give a shit about your own. So be respectful and think about somebody else that you could actually harm by talking on your fucking cell phone while you're driving. That's something that people should just learn. I don't care if you got the hands-off communication or whatever. You are being distracted by whatever you're talking about on your phone. And you can't have a distraction when you're driving a 2-ton bullet. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people in their graves now because of that. And they could have been living today, but it was more important to talk to their girlfriend about the guy they just met, or some really insignificant bullshit, and lives were taken. I shared a story, a horrible story. I don't want to even talk about it again, about a co-worker of mine I had. His whole family died in a car accident because a woman who was too busy on her cell phone going at high speed on a highway wind up rear-ending this vehicle. Caught on fire, kids, wife all died. A Bulgarian man. He was burnt, wind up dying from his injuries a short time later because she was just too busy talking on her cell phone. And she got away with it. The husband was a policeman or something. I don't know. They found a way to cover up the story somehow. I don't know what happened to her because, I don't know, I know people that were involved with the family would come back from Bulgaria to put a lawsuit against this woman, and I don't know what happened from that point on. He was a decent guy, though. Trevor, what's the difference between talking to somebody in the passenger seat versus talking to somebody on a hands-free device? Well, you know, if you got like some kids in the back seat and they're all fighting with each other and you know, all that shit. Yeah, you could talk to them and say, you know, knock the nonsense off, I'm driving. They continue to do it. You pull over to the side of the road and scold them and say, look, mama's or daddy, whatever, we're driving the car. I can't have you distract me by you kids fighting. Just speak up and talk to them, you know, because that is a distraction. But yeah, as far as talking to them, that's a distraction too. You could talk to people in the car, but try not to divert that much of your attention to what's going on inside the car, but more is what's on the outside of the car, the road. Keep it a straight line, watching out for oncoming traffic, not getting to that point of being so distracted that you're not thinking and you're not driving defensively. So many traffic deaths, it's ridiculous. That's why I don't drive out here. I'm telling you, I will never have a car again. So I haven't driven in, 8 years, whatever it's been, except my brother's car when I was in Hawaii a couple of times. I only drove a couple of times. I'm used to driving. I kind of like driving, but under the situations in the Philippines here, it's not something of an advantage to really drive a car here. It's just, there's too many possibilities of an accident. And if you drive a motorcycle or anything, it's almost guaranteed that at some point in time, you're going to get into at least one accident. At least one accident. A car, you got a little better protection. You're surrounded by steel and other stuff, unlike a motorcycle. But it just happens too often here in the Philippines. It's just too outrageous, and the liability factor of having to pay the hospital bills or funeral expenses of somebody you just killed on the road. And, you know, they'll try to make it look like it's your fault, even if it wasn't. And you're going to have to deal with that. Imagine killing somebody's kid, or some family member of a Filipino out here. They see that you're a foreigner. Well, you know what I'm going to say, right? You could fill in the blanks on that one. That's just the way it is out here, whether you like it or not. So driving is going to have to be something that you give some very serious consideration. It could be convenient for you to get around instead of taking a trike and all this other shit. But you weigh out the odds, you know, on this, do the math on it, and you're getting older, and the last thing that you need as you become a senior, the last thing you need is to get into an accident that's going to disable you somehow. I'm not a chance taker in that way. No, I've been lucky so far, but your luck can run out. I'd be the guy, probably would get into an accident or be reactive to somebody's stupid thing that they did on the road. I might get pissed off about it and exhibit how pissed off I am, and that may not be healthy for me either. That's another thing. Because believe me, I've been on the road when people have done stupid things in America, and I was just irate about it. I'd almost go into a road rage, never mind anybody else. Because if they did something stupid that could have harmed my daughter or anybody I had in a car, or myself, an unnecessary move on the roadway or highway, they didn't signal, just did something radically wrong that could have affected somebody's life in a big, big way. It's real easy to get reactive to something like that, Trevor. And they do every single day. But here it's kind of really weird. In the Philippines, they use their horn as a communication device. It's how they beep their horn. It's a courtesy. Hey, I'm coming. I'm behind you. I'm going to kind of pass you. Or just, I noticed that they all do this every little, even in town here. Every little intersection where there's an adjoining road on the side, or if they see kids in it, that they will always toot their horn. Believe me, they don't want to be in an accident out here, especially if you're driving a trike for a living, because my drivers are very cautious, but sometimes even being cautious doesn't work. But yeah, I've noticed that they really do take their time to beep their horn. They see kids ahead, or they see another road on the side. You don't know if somebody's going to come out. They'll toot their horn to alert some other driver that, hey, I'm coming up this little thoroughfare, whatever. And that's a good thing to do. In America, they don't fucking give a shit. They just run through an intersection, and oh boy, have I experienced that. How many times almost killed me. I'm lucky I made it alive today. Never listened to be a senior. I'm real lucky because I got into a couple of accidents. They weren't like big wrecks or nothing like that, but shit. My brother, even in Hawaii, got into an accident at an intersection from an industrial park off this little, call it a highway. Very clear to the other person that, hey, this is the main drag. If you're on a side street, okay, you definitely have to yield to oncoming traffic that's coming on the straightaway, the main road. And that's why they have lights to do that. But some people decide to go right through it. That happened to my brother. He wound up T-boning somebody. He got a little hurt from that. Some things that you can't prevent, but the things that you can prevent. Okay, listen, I've already been on here about an hour and 15 minutes here, and I think that's long enough. Anyway, the subject really was really all about anxiety. What that's really all about. What's the scoop on anxiety? And maybe you understand it a little bit better. No, you're not crazy if you have anxiety. Nothing like that. I mean, although it is both physiological, chemical, and some of it is psychological, but not like insanity or anything like that. It does have nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with mania, nothing to do with any aspect of mental illness at all, really. It's just your fight or flight responses in your body is what it is, and how your body reacts to fight or flight. You know, idiots like this that's making comments. Well, I'll tell you what, dude. If you had diabetes, you'd be taking the diabetes medicine, wouldn't you? Of course you would. You got high blood pressure, you'd be taking high blood pressure meds. What's different about anxiety? Or let's say you had depression. There you go. Enough said. Anyway, that was quick and painless right there, wasn't it? Okay, guys, thanks for listening. Catch you on the next shoe. And things are relatively quiet in the community from what I could see. But then again, I really haven't gone through any YouTube this morning, other than doing my own show. I don't worry about Nico and Popeye and Roberto. They're like the dregs of society. They got more problems than everybody else combined on here, I'll tell you that much. Let them do what they're going to do. They're going to do it anyway, so why stress over it? You know, I consider the source where this shit's coming from. That's how I handle it. I consider the source. That's what you need to do sometimes. You see what I'm saying? Of course you do. Of course.